What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Swanky Disc Golf. The 2025 professional disc golf season is about to start this weekend. If you're watching this the day it comes out, we're going to break everything that you need to know down. We're going to start with off-season movement. Anything you missed this off-season, we're going to bring you up to date, and then we're going to break down the 2025 season, everything you as a viewer need to know. Before we jump into it, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 40,000 subscribers, and we're going to do a huge giveaway when we get there. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Like the video if you enjoy the content. Let's jump into it. Starting off, there was a huge amount of player movement this offseason after the big MVP moves of Simon Lizotte in the past and Eagle McMahon and people like that. We thought we could never be shocked again, but we were shocked this year.
We were wrong.
Big moves, notably two-time world champion Isaac Robinson moving to Latitude 64. Ezra Robinson, his brother, also leaving Prodigy, going to Discraft. The biggest story this offseason is probably Discraft picking up everyone, including Ricky Wysocki, Cale LaVisca, Ken Climo.
Everybody.
And then probably the other most notable move is Jeremy Colling leaving Innova. Somebody who has been synonymous with Innova for many years is now with MVP.
Crazy.
The Gyro gang is coming in strong. Notably here, Ricky Wysocki and Kona Montgomery are breaking 4-year contracts. They're 3 years into a 4-year contract with Dynamic Discs. So there might be some financial issues there with Dynamic Discs. We'll be keeping an eye on that. But Ricky Wysocki picked up by Discraft and Kona Montgomery returning to Innova. Kona had a 4-year, $500,000 contract. Ricky Wysocki had a 4-year, $4 million contract. And so I think we're starting to see a lot of those really inflated disc golf contracts from 4 or 5 years ago, starting to not be worth it anymore. Dynamic Discs is definitely picking up players that are less well known. They have Parker Welk now. They have Robert Burridge now. This is a similar sort of a downward, I don't want to say downward trajectory, but a similar trajectory that Prodigy is on, seeing kind of mass exodus out of their company as far as Pro Tour players. Speaking of Prodigy, they are under new ownership. This was big news in the offseason. Will Shoestrick took over as CEO. I think there has generally been a lot of positive response to this. Will Shoestrick is a
legend.
really well-known player, personality in disc golf, a Georgia legend especially.
Absolutely.
And we're super excited. He sounds like he has a lot of plans for the future. From what I've heard, number one on that list is to build a more reputable brand with the people. He knows the history of how people have viewed Prodigy and their quality control and things like that, and he wants to do everything he can to make Prodigy a high-quality brand once again. So that's very exciting. Other news, Discraft picking up people like Cale LaVisca and Ken Climo and sort of reinvigorating them. Ken Climo starting his own brand of discs that we're all excited about, which is wild.
Manufactured by Discraft as well.
Yes, would not have been able to predict that last season that Ken Climo would make a comeback and start his own disc golf company with Discraft.
But why not?
But why not? I mean, this was an absolutely wild offseason, and I could not be more excited for the 2025 season, which also had a lot of changes coming up.
Yeah, the tour has experienced a lot of changes heading into 2025, and we want to break them down for you. But I think the easiest way to summarize a lot of the changes is that 2025 is kind of like the year of Europe. It feels like we are heading across the pond more and more, and this year the focus and the spotlight is certainly on Europe in a way that it never has been before. And that starts with the PDGA World Championships being held in Europe at the traditional home of the European Open. So we'll have the Beast and we'll have the Monster that debuted last season. We'll have both of those courses being played just like they were for the European Open last year for the World Championship. And one small interesting aspect about that tournament is that last year we lost the bunker rule for hole 16 at the Beast, the famous hole 16 that you would throw until you made that island. They actually removed that rule last year.
The notable Anthony Barella breakdown on that hole.
Anthony
is
Barella,
what it's known for.
That was supposed to be the final breakdown ever because they changed that rule the following year. That rule that allowed Corey Ellis to win his only major. Moving into this year, there is a substantial push to bring the bunker rule back. Now, can we promise that it's going to happen? No, but people like UC Maresma and others that are in leadership over there, over that world championship, are pushing for that change. So we're hoping to see that as well on this channel. Love the bunker rule. Pretty much everybody that spectates disc golf loves the bunker rule. So let's bring that back. That would be amazing.
Let us know if you don't like it in the comments below, though, because I'm sure there's some people who don't.
Some people just don't like fun. I don't know. But the reason that I say that this is just the year of European disc golf is because other events that have been long-standing events on the European side of things, European majors as well as European tour events, are debuting on the Pro Tour this year, like the Turku Open and the Ale Open as well. The PCS Open comes back this year. We're excited to have that one. And then the Kona Piste Open, to me, that is the most prestigious of the events coming on as a standard Pro Tour event this year. It's a former major. They used to cycle the Kona Piste Open and the European Open every other year. The Kona Piste Open is home of classic moments. I think of Simon Lazat's classic comeback at Kona Piste back in I can't remember, 2017, maybe even earlier than that. Just some incredible memories on that course. Beautiful location. Excited to be back there on the tour. And then there's some other changes that don't feel so warm and fuzzy. Jonesboro is departing from the tour. The Jonesboro Open at Disc Side of Heaven, long proclaimed, absolutely wild. I mean, long proclaimed to be one of the tour's finest courses. The reason that is being removed is just because of a lack of spectator support for that event over the last few years, especially in 2024. It felt like your local C tier out there. I'm not sure if it's just because it's in a more remote location, but they are removing it for the year 2025. And the same is happening for the Dynamic Disc Open, another very prestigious event, long-standing. Before it was called DDO, it was the Glass Blown Open. It is a long history on the tour. Both are removed. For now, Jonesboro is planning to be back for 2026, but we'll see, I guess, based on some of the other tournaments that are taking its place. We have the Kansas City Wide Open. That's sort of a Midwest event that's jumping into the tour, taking the place of some of these events. That tournament has a long history as well. So if Kansas City, one of the most well-known homes of disc golf in the U.S., Kansas City, if they make a splash and they show up to that event and they make it a spectacular event, we could see that one replace the DDO. So interested to see how spectator support and just the overall quality of these events continues to shape the tour. It's an interesting way that we, as disc golf fans, can shape the tour and what's going on and which events make it on. And then the OTB Open is not happening this year, but it is getting a rebrand. Not exactly a rebrand. In a very controversial move, the OTB Open has been labeled the Champions Cup location for this year. So the OTB Open at Swenson Park in Stockton, California will be the home of the 2025 Champions Cup. We will have an event there. It's controversial because the Champions Cup has long been, or since its inception, has been a wooded major. Originally taking place at WR Jackson, and then when WR Jackson had to be torn down, they moved it up to Northwood Black, both historically great woods courses. Now the OTB Open, Swenson Park, wide open, rollers everywhere. Very different vibe, very controversial. So we'll see the player response to that. I mean, we saw it when it was announced. There was some backlash, but Swenson Park is a great place to play disc golf and a great place for spectators to get out there and watch the entire thing. It's also very friendly for live coverage. So we'll see the response to that event. But there's just a lot to look forward to moving into 2025. I'm excited to see if the majority of the field makes it out to Europe. With all the emphasis on Europe this year, we hope that all the major players make it out there and we get to see more European talent as well.
Yes, there is a big European swing this year that is centered around Worlds, which I think will get a lot more players out there. There's a big pause in the season. Go over to Europe and play all these tournaments, and then Worlds, and then Turku. Also notably, the Pro Tour Championship is going to be held at Ivy Creek in Lynchburg, Virginia. This is where Worlds was held in 2024. It was a mix of New London Tech Disc Golf Course and Ivy Creek, which is a wide open golf course, traditional golf course that they have converted temporarily into a disc golf course. It was beautiful. There were kind of different responses to this being announced, but it'll definitely be a different year for the Pro Tour Championship. I'm curious to see how players will react to that. I think originally they would have also liked to include New London in that, but New London is being taken down, I believe, for a reason I cannot remember. It's turning into a parking lot or something like that.
RIP, one of the great courses of our current U.S. landscape.
Yeah. A lot of exciting things happening in disc golf, starting with this week's Discraft Supreme Flight Open, replacing the Chess.com Invitational from last year. Your first event of the year is this weekend. Let us know what you're excited to see and what you're excited about for this season in the comments below, and we will see you in the next one. Stay swanky.